schedule a live and then come on. So here we are anyway. So today I'd like to focus on two things. So ankle movement, which is my big thing. Ankle movement. Let me just adjust this a little bit. And movement that is bunion friendly. So movement that is not going to aggravate the pain in your big joint, your big toe joint. Yeah, this is my big focus today. So thank you for joining me in this movement session. So let's start with aligning ourselves. Okay, minor adjustment so you can see me in full here. I hope you can see me. It's a little dark. Let's see, is that better? I think that's a bit better. Okay, let's give you a bit more of a view. Shut the door. There. Okay. So how we stand. So if you feel your weight and then shift left and right, make sure your weight is evenly distributed between the 2 feet. Let's just adjust again. I don't think I'm in the middle. Okay, you can see the board, but that's okay. Okay, so yeah, shift left, right until you feel your weight is 50% on the left, 50% on the right. And then within the foot, go to the heel. Are your toes liftable? Then you know your weight is in your heel, or both your heels. And see if you can feel that circle of your heel, because your heel is not just one tiny dot. Your heel is actually a big area. So shift to the area. Imagine as a circle around the heel. So draw the circle with your body weight, shifting the weight to the side, the top of the side, and the bottom. Imagine going left, and then up, and then right, and back. Let's do it the other way. To the side, up, draw your circle with your finger. It's helping me, so it might help you too. Okay, and back to center. You see, I actually shifted the weight to the side a little bit, to one foot. But let's try not to shift the weight, but just draw the circle. So without shifting the weight left and right. So let's draw the circle. So it's a smaller circle because you're not moving your whole body. You're doing smaller circles. So your weight is still evenly distributed between the two sides. Okay. Small circles one way, small circles the other. And rest there. In your heels, toes liftable. You might find that when you lift your toes, this happens. You have a slight shift back. So that's more on the toes, weight on the toes and the ball, and that's more weight on the heel. It doesn't mean there's no weights on the balls and the toes, it's just that's the first step, is to connect with the heel. So now we're going to connect with the ball of the foot. So I apply a little bit of pressure under the big toe, just at the ball of the foot. The ball of the foot being the big fleshy area, so it's not the metatarsals, it's just below. And that's an area that can give a lot of strength, a lot of power. So if you're not sure, lift your toes up, and you're lifting your toes up from the ball of your foot, each foot. So we want to really feel it, feel every little bit of it, not just the areas that you use a lot, because we tend to use an area more than the other. We want to use the whole area more. Ball of the foot under the big toe. Apply a little bit of pressure, maybe just think of pulsing. And then you can also think of pressing, just pressing as you breathe out, so you relax, you're not holding tension. Breathe out. And then go to the second toe, the area of the ball of your foot just below the second toe. So you can do pulses. Even if it's not happening, have the intention. Because having the intention is you're halfway there. And breathe out. Okay, now we're going to press evenly with the out breath. So breathe in and breathe out. Press. Again, lighten the pressure and increase the pressure with the out breath. And then third toe. Pulse. Breathe in and pulse. And breathe in again. And even pressure. My toes are slightly lifted as I do that, rather than the toes being clenched, because the toes are supposed to be relaxed as we focus on the ball. So now fourth toe, that's probably a bit tricky, it is tricky for me to focus on the fourth toe, the little pulses just under the fourth toe. The toe is actually relaxed. Yeah. And relax, and breathe in again, and apply even pressure under the fourth toe. Use your finger if that helps. One more. Apply pressure. So it's actually this part on the foot. And relax. And now we're going to focus on the fifth toe. So if you think of your fifth finger, it can help as well connect. So you might have to shift the weight to the outside edge of your foot, and it's tricky if you have a bunion. The weight seems to want to go on to the inside. So shift your weight to the outside. You might want to lift up if you don't have enough mobility, you might want to lift up the big toe and the second toe. And do little pulses on the out breath, just under the fifth toe. Again, breathe in, breathe out. And relax. And breathe in again. Even pressure. And release. And once more. Breathe in. Even pressure on the ball of the foot below the fifth toe. Easy on one side. You can also shift to make sure you're doing it on one side and then the other. And relax. Okay. Now see if you can feel from the fifth toe to the big toe, that area of the ball of the foot. Imagine you've got a bean there and it's the size of your foot, and you're squishing the bean from the outside of your foot all the way to the inside of the foot. Again, from the outside, you squish the bean, squish, squish, squish to the big toe. And then we can start at the big toe. Maybe I'll come closer if it's easier to see for you. Can you see my foot there? Alright, so squish the bean. We've lost connection for a little moment, so we're back on, I believe. Okay, let's do that again, in case you missed it. So focus on the foot. From the outside edge of the foot, from the outside edge of the foot, you're feeling that bean, you're imagining that shape, and you squish. And it's okay if the big toe lifts as you apply pressure on the outside of the foot. And again, the other way. It's okay if the outside edge lifts as you press more with the big toe. And then we're going to even the load across the whole of the ball of the foot. I don't think you can see my face there. It's tricky to get the whole body in. There we go. Okay, so now feel the heel, feel the ball, Feel the toes relaxing and spreading. So we're going to just check our form, make sure that you're stacked from the hip to the ankle. So if you're here, just lift the toes up, so you shift your weight back and then relax the foot back down, feeling the ball of the foot, the heel, and the toes also making contact, but light contact. Okay, so you want to be stacked here. Imagine a line from the hip to the heel. Okay, if you're not sure, see how far you can go without falling over, and then relax there. Now, from the rib cage, so what I like to do is to have a tactile cue, because it helps me more in touch with my tactile sense. So with the knuckles, rub, so, and you breathe out and relax. So you're not holding tension up here, but you can let go. Let go. It's okay if you round a little bit, if your shoulders round, just so your sternum is more or less vertical. If your shoulders round, see if you can rotate by bringing the inner elbow bit forward. And as for the neck on top, to make sure your head is not up here or even here or here, just tap your head, the crown of the head, tap it. And feel that connection. You might feel that it's beginning to lengthen at the back of the neck. You can also use a beanbag. I often have a beanbag. I haven't got it today, but putting something on top of your head, like a book, or you've got a box here, having something right at the top where this bit should be more elevated than the front, ideally. So imagine you're using muscles to, you are using muscles to keep that weight. It's kind of another tactile cue. And in this position, your cervicals are aligned, and the weight of your head is stacked on top, rather than stretching and compressing your cervical. So do what you can. I know it might not be easy at first, but try and have that connection from the crown of the head as you use these muscles. So then your shin is horizontal with the ground, so you don't want to be here. If you talk like this, you've done it too much. You're actually compressing the front, so you don't want a double chin. You want kind of a balance, and so your shin is horizontal with the ground, and you can still talk normally. That's a good test. Okay, so now we've checked our form. Let's try and go back there. Oh, there's a third point. So we've done stacked here, but we've not done the front. So I like to think that my pelvis is just the front of my pelvis, just the bit I'm focusing on, is like a diamond shape. So this shape. And I'm feeling with the heel of my hand, I'm feeling my ASIS. It's the front of the pelvis. This is the most bony part, the part that you feel at the front. That's your pelvis, the top front of your pelvis. And then I put my middle finger on the pubic bone, which is the lowest part of your pelvis. You feel a bony part down below. It's kind of in the middle at an angle from the two ASIs here to the pubic bone here. The technical term is anterior superior iliac spine, ASIS, and pubic symphysis. So I call it just ASIS and pubic bone. And then the thumb join up where your belly button is. Okay, so that's your diamond, and you want your diamond to be vertical. So not straight, because that's also straight, but it's forward. You want it to be, so you don't want your thumbs to be forward of your middle fingers. And you don't want your middle fingers to be forward of your thumb. You want them to be on the same line. There. Okay. To the best of your ability. And if you feel that you're forcing, just find a middle way that suits you. Okay, so before we start the movement at the big toe, I'd like you to feel between the big toe and the second toe. Yeah, this part. I'll come a bit closer to show you. Because that's soft and tender. So you do a little, you find a gap between the metatarsals, and then you press gently. You might find a tender spot here. Give it a little rub. You might see your little move, and also a little rub here, just below the bunion. There already. Yeah, that's stimulating. I haven't got a bunion on this side, but why not? Try it. It's quite nice. Below the bunion, and the other one was here. So I like to start here and work my way down. And the tender spot is usually around here. You can stop for a bit, take a couple of breaths, feel it release. We should do that on this side as well. Take a couple of breaths. Feel it anymore because I did it earlier. Okay, so see if you can. I can still see. See if you can lift the big toes a tiny bit, just a tiny bit off the ground, and see if they point forward. So if they point forward, you can go a little bit higher. But if they start going in towards the other toes, then stop there. That's your boundary. You don't want to encourage that movement too much. You want to encourage the movement of going up and forward, straight up. Do tiny ones, and if you can't do it, just do little pulses, or simply have the intention. Simply have the intention of doing it. There we are. So for me, I can go as far as here now, and what you can do is stabilize this joint here so it doesn't shift too much. And if there is no movement, you can do it with your hand. See if there's movement. So not from here, not from the middle of the joint, but from the ball of the foot. The ball of the foot is down, contact, and you see if you have any movement going up and out to the side. And same on this side. If I do it without hands, up and to the side. There. So we want to be able to move the toes before we load them, before we apply weight on them. And so if you can't do the lift, or if your lift is tiny, make the movement tiny. So let's say you've got little movement in your big toe. So you just shift the weight from the ball to from the heel to the ball of the foot, a tiny bit, and then you see if you lose the shape. Okay, if it's okay, you can go a bit further and see at what point you lose the shape, at what point your big toe starts shifting towards your second toe. Okay, do a few like that until you feel fatigue in your calf muscle. So you can do quick ones. You can do slow ones. And then you can hold until you feel muscle fatigue and you know your muscles, your calf muscles have worked. Your gastrocnemius, because the leg is straight, so we're targeting the gastrocnemius. And see at what point your big toe starts to shift. At that point you stop, or you make the movement smaller or slower. I still don't feel muscle fatigue, so I'm gonna go put all my weights on the ball of my foot, like a raise, a calf raise. I'm beginning to feel it now. And lower, lower, lower. Okay, so that's what quite a bit. So I'm gonna lengthen now by taking my foot up with the heel. With the heel down. And I'm going to the outside of my foot, because if I go to the inside, my knee starts pointing in. I want my knee to point forward, so I go slightly to the outside, and then I bring my foot back down, so my knee stays down. I bring my foot back level with my little toe. My big toe is now level with my little toe. I've just moved my forefoot rather than my whole ankle. So that's movement at the ankle, that's movement at the foot. Let's come a bit closer to show you. Okay, so that's my foot going up, and what I did was turn my foot to the outside and then bring my big toe level with my little toe. So they're on the same level, rather than my little toe being closer to the ground, which is where I started. Little toe closer to the ground, then I bring my big toe to be level. It's what we were doing with the bean, squashing the bean. Now we're doing it in midair. Okay, so I'm turning my big toe to be level with my little toe. If I just turn my whole ankle, this is what happens. The knee goes in. I don't want this movement. I want the knee to point forward. I want to isolate the movement at the forefoot. Yeah. Okay, so that's relaxed my calf. So let's do the same on the other side. So turning around. You can't see my face here. Can you see my face there? I think that's better. Okay. So other foot, whichever foot you didn't do, behind you, and then see how far you can take your heel up, keeping your big toe in alignment. So keeping your big toe happy, pointing forward, and see how far you can go before it starts to complain or shift away from having all that weight. So if it's okay, just keep doing it, or find your level and then do a few slow ones at first, and then faster. Imagine you're walking really fast, maybe you're running. And then until you feel muscle fatigue. If you don't feel muscle fatigue, go put more weight on the ball of your foot by doing like a calf raise, a single calf raise, but I've got some weight on the other foot. I could do just all the weights on that foot. I haven't got a bunion on that foot, so I can take it. So I'm staying up there. I can also do this, quick ones, or I can hold. And now I'm beginning to feel my calf, my gastrocnemius. So I'm going to do what we did before, foot up. You can put something under your foot. You can put a roll towel, or a ball, or a book, but you don't have to. So what I'm doing is leveling my foot. But if I level my foot by moving my ankle, my knee goes in a little bit, not much, but a little bit. So I'm gonna bring my little toe closer to the ground, and then I'm gonna bring my big toe level. So that keeps my knee pointing forward, and it stabilizes my ankle. So my ankle doesn't roll in and out. I mean, it can do. It's good to isolate the movement at the forefoot. It's good to have movement in the ankle. You want movement everywhere, really. So I'm just moving from the little toe to the big toe. Little toe, big toe. That keeps my knee forward and that lengthens the back of my calf. So we're going to do exactly the same, but this time we're going to have a leg bent. So with the leg bent, you're targeting another muscle called the soleus, which doesn't cross the knee. It's called the second heart of the body because it pumps the blood back up. 77%, is it? 70 something percent of the fluid, blood and lymph back up to the heart. So it's super important. So we're going to focus on this one now. Okay, and the rest of the fluid is pumped by the quads and the feet. So we've done the feet, so we're good. Alright, so this time leg bent. So with your leg bent, check what your big toe is doing. Is it happy to point forward or is it starting to shift to the right? So see what it's doing. You might want to stay here actually and not put any pressure, but see if you lift your heel, what's happening to your big toe. Is it still happy to take your weight here? If so, you can lift and do a few movements sort of lifting the heel. Lift the heel so slowly so you can see what's going on, and if you're happy with what you see, go faster until you feel muscle fatigue. And if you still don't feel it, you can go up on your toes on one foot if it's okay, and then you can either do small movement or do a hold. Oh, legs bent. Do a hold until your soleus is talking to you and saying enough. And keep checking your big toe. So you want the weight, your body weight, to be evenly distributed across the ball of your foot. Okay, that's it. I'm feeling it now. So we're going to lengthen the soleus by taking the foot up, but this time with the leg bent. Again, check that the ball of your foot is what's the word? Parallel to the ground, I suppose. Not the big toe or the little toe being closer. And so I need to bring my big toe in line with my little toe. If I take my whole ankle, my knee is moving as well. So I want to keep the knee stable and just move the forefoot until my big toe is level with my little toe. So both legs are bent. So it's lengthening the calf, giving it a rest. So same on the other side. Actually, we haven't done the other side. It's the other side first. So leg behind you. The foot you haven't done, you want behind you. Check the alignment. If you're happy with the alignment, go up and down, and check what your big toe is doing, how it's responding to the load. If it's happy, give it a bit more. So lift the heel a bit more. When you lift your heel, you're putting more weight on the ball of the foot and on the toes. Still with the legs bent to target the soleus until you feel muscle fatigue. So try some fast ones. And you can also do some holds. I can't feel very much yet. So I'm going to do a hold, checking my big toe is still pointing forward, and of course my leg is down. So I'm going to try and use my eyes more than my head. Try and do that. Use your eyes to go down and less of your head. Okay, mustn't forget to have my knee bent. I'm still there. I'm still not feeling it. Beginning to feel it now. And if I put more weight, less forward but more centered, I feel a bit more. That's it, I think. Yeah, that's it, that's enough. So, leg up, or foot up rather, not leg up. Foot up, leg bent, and see if the ball of the foot can be on the same level. Big toe and little toe, not the little toe closer to the ground, or the big toe closer to the ground. Both on the same plane, on the same level. And if it's not happening, start with bringing the little toe closer to the ground, and then see if you can bring the other toes level, rather than moving the whole ankle and the knee with it. See if you can, and if you can't, just let the little toe come closer to the ground for now, and do the other steps at another stage. Right, okay, so we've done both muscles, we've done our feet. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now we're going to do some one-legged balance. So you're gonna shift your weight. Well, first you're gonna check that you're standing hip distance apart. So back to this muscle, this bone here at the front, this bone here. Imagine a line will be crossing from here, the SAS, top front of your pelvis, down, straight down to your ankle, to the front of your ankle. So shift the weight to one side. I'm doing my bunion side first, and then you're going to press the foot slightly down, so you're making an imprint, a stronger imprint into the ground. That shifts this side of your pelvis down slightly, and the other side up slightly, so you can clear the foot. So that's a one-legged balance. That's what you do when you walk. Well, it might be. So I'm gonna use the wall to make sure that I'm loading this leg, that I'm not shifting this way or shifting one way or the other. So my weight is in my heel, I'm not shifting here, and it can help to bring the side back here. See, from here to here. You're right in the hip joint, and if you're not sure where your hip joint is, bend at the hip and you'll feel something move. Yeah, that's your hip joint. So I'm spreading my toes, but not letting my bunion go out to the side. So I'm doing that by pressing under the big toe, the ball of the foot under the big toe. That's the bit I'm pressing down to stabilize. Okay. So check what your big toe is doing. Is it happy with you standing on one leg? Is it happy to stay pointing forward? And yeah, stay here. Now you can move the other leg behind you a little bit. You can move it to the side. Okay, and try with knee bent. Check your big toe. Okay, and let's do the other side. So weight in the heel, big toes liftable. Yeah, kind of balanced across the hip, across the foot. This one I can probably do without holding. It's my strong side. So not shifting out to the side, back in. And big toe pointing straight forward. Yeah, still happy. and stay here for a bit. And your foot will be micro-adjusting. You can stop whenever you feel fatigued or your big toe is saying stop. Okay, right. Oh yeah, and neck bend. We can do leg bend too. See if that makes a difference to how your big toe responds. So here we're using more quads by bending the knee, and here we're using more hip muscle, lateral hip here on the side. You might feel it. As you bring your foot down, it all releases, or it should do. So try that again. Press press the foot down and release. Muscles release. Muscle contract as you press down. Muscle release as you shift the weight back to both legs. Okay, so let's just check the time. Let's have a quick time check, see where we are. 8:40. Alright, I think that's more than 15 minutes then. Yeah, that's a lot more. That's what happens when I get carried away. Well, thank you for joining me in this movement practice, focusing on the big toe and the ankle and the calf muscles and general alignment. So I hope you find it helpful. I can see actually it's been 37 minutes, so it was supposed to be 15, but there you go. I hope you find it helpful. Feel free to comment and yeah, let me know. So take all this practice into a walk and enjoy. Bye for now.